I'm Matt Smith right now on Upfront.
Thank you so much tonight, and God bless.
All eyes on November. Trump's pick for governor winning. His attempt to push out Assembly Speaker Robin Vos failing. Now Michael Gableman in the political crosshairs.
Yeah, he's an embarrassment to the state.
Speaker Vos is here, one-on-one, moments away. Then, are Democrats energized? Congresswoman Gwen Moore on the U.S. Senate race. The House just passing the Inflation Reduction Act. And DNC Chair Jamie Harrison on Wisconsin and the RNC picking Milwaukee. Then, what it all means. J.R. Ross standing by with the new analysis and the key races ahead.
Taking on the issues important to Wisconsin. This is Upfront.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Smith. Now less than 90 days until the November general. Tuesday's primary in the rearview mirror, but the implications long-lasting.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next governor of Wisconsin, Tim Michels!
Businessman Tim Michels winning the GOP nomination for governor, beating Rebecca Kleefisch 47 to 42%.
I urge you all to stay in the fight.
Former President Donald Trump endorsing Michels.
And boy, I wish he was president today.
Trump also backing Adam Steen, the Republican challenger to Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, who refused Trump's demands to decertify the presidential results of the 2020 election.
3, 2, 1, go!
Steen, just hours before polls opened, a campaign event tossing effigies of Vos.
The speaker had how many chances to go back and look at the election?
At Steen's campaign watch party, Michael Gableman. Gableman in the final hours campaigning against the state's most powerful Republican, who hired and paid him $11,000 a month to investigate the 2020 election. Vos winning his primary 51 to 49% by some 260 votes.
Yeah, it's one of the closest races I've ever had.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos joins us now. Speaker, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Matt.
You fired Mike Gableman on Friday.
It's time for us to move on. I mean, if you look back at the investigation that was launched last year, first of all, it's important for us to remember that we had the nonpartisan Legislative Audit Bureau find problems with the election. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, a well-respected conservative law and legal firm, also found problems. So Justice Gableman's work last year really helped to showcase the bills that we passed and why they were necessary. We went to the spring, where, of course, he gave his second interim report. And then they began to talk about decertifying and overturning the election, which is constitutionally impossible. We paused the investigation, if you recall. We still had a bunch of lawsuits to deal with. And now we see that Justice Gableman engaged in very partisan activities that really were outside the bounds of what the Assembly Republican leadership team, who had met with him to talk about that, could accept. So we're moving forward. The problem still exists in 2020. Nothing about this doesn't say that we're not serious about solving the election fraud and things that we saw in 2020. But we also know that we cannot keep harping on it if we're going to move forward into 2022 and hopefully win the election.
How did this go down? Did you call him? Have you talked to him?
We sent him a letter. We did it through the process of the contract. I really don't think there's any need to have a discussion. He did a good job last year. It kind of got off the rails this year. And now we're going to end the investigation. We're going to focus on winning the election so that the bills that we passed, which are ready to go to fix the problems that were discovered, can be signed into law hopefully early next year with Governor Michels.
You haven't spoken to him?
Not yet.
When's the last time you have talked with him?
Within the last month. Yeah.
Before he endorsed your opponent?
Obviously, yeah.
When did you find out about that, and were you surprised that not only he endorsed Adam Steen, but campaigned for him?
It was just disappointing because it was outright lies. I mean, there's no legislator in the country who authorized the taxpayer-funded investigation but the Assembly Republicans. We gave him carte blanche where he came to us and said, here's the budget, here's the opportunity for us. We said yes to what he needed. He then had the freedom to be able to operate as he chose. And then to somehow say that we were never serious about the investigation, that's just a bold-faced lie. To somehow say that we were not going to be able to partake in the good work that he did last year to make it into law, also not truthful. So when somebody loses the confidence of their client, which is the Assembly Republican Caucus and the legislature as a whole, there was really no choice but to move on.
What does this mean for all the litigation that's still out there?
It still is moving forward because remember, most of the money, people are frustrated with $1 million, where the vast majority of that is being spent on lawsuits filed by very liberal special interest groups trying to muddy the investigations.
Will more taxpayer money be used in this litigation to still fight it, even though you've now fired him?
Right. I mean, well, remember, we're still defending ourselves. We are defending the legislature. These liberal special interest groups have been spending all kinds of money to showcase what they think was done wrong, which frankly, I don't believe anything was done wrong, other than the fact that now at the end, we saw that he lost our trust, because when he met with our leadership team, we were very clear and said, don't engage in partisan politics, don't go to rallies and things like that, because we want this to be an independent investigation. He chose to go against that, and that's where we have to end it.
If Michael Gableman calls you and says, why are you firing me? Why are you doing this? You say what to him?
I would say you lost the confidence of the caucus. You have lost the confidence of our leadership team, who was very clear in meeting with you, saying, focus on the investigation, focus on winning the lawsuits, don't engage in partisan politics, don't bring attention to yourself. He couldn't help himself, and he did just that.
Democrats want an audit now of the special counsel's office. Would you support that?
There's really no need for it. Every single bill has been paid through the chief clerk's office. They can go and look at all of the records that are there. That's just a political talking point for them to try to make hay out of this situation.
Donald Trump entered your race. He endorsed your opponent. He rallied with your opponent. You won by 260 votes. That's not many.
It's not many, but I'll tell you, when Donald Trump stands on a stage and says that I'm a closet Democrat, which for anybody who's watching, or I think for anybody in the state of Wisconsin to think that I am a closet Democrat, that's kind of preposterous.
The caucus is meeting still on Tuesday. As you look ahead to the next session in January, will you be elected as Assembly Speaker again?
That's up to my colleagues. Of course, I feel good about where I am. I think that if you look at the legislature, of course, we have been rated the second most conservative legislature in the country. I think we have done a good job finding ways to get our conservative agenda advanced.
Will you appoint Janelle Branchin to serve as chair of the Elections Commission again?
Way too early to tell. I think we want to have a conversation with our caucus, because we're a team, right? That's the whole idea, that you have to have the trust of your colleagues if you're given a committee chairmanship. You can't go rogue. So I think that's something that's really important for our caucus to discuss, and we will next week.
So there's a chance that you will still appoint her as chair?
Anything is possible. That's probably a remote possibility.
A remote possibility. As we look ahead to the November elections and we see what happened in Tuesday, what do you make of the state of the Republican Party in Wisconsin, broadly speaking?
Look, I have never seen the energy and the passion that we see among an awful lot of folks in the Republican Party base. Now, if you remember back to 2010, there was a Tea Party movement, and that was a hugely transformational effort. I think that happened again in 2016, where more people joined the movement. We had record turnout for the Republican primary vote. I think it was 40 years since we've had that many. We had a really contentious primary for governor, attorney general, lots of people who want to be involved in the Republican Party. So I'm optimistic. I think we're going to have a good November. I think we have a great contrast to tell with a governor who is feckless, not focused on the issues that really matter, let Kenosha burn. I mean, go through a long list of things where his faults are that I'm sure Tim Michels is going to bring up. But again, I want to focus on what we're going to do in January once we have a chance to actually get things done. I want to make sure we have great schools, that we have a workforce that's ready to go for all the open jobs that we have. We know we have to do tax reform. We have to figure out how we have a university system which values both sides of an argument, not only the side that is politically correct. I mean, we have so many issues to deal with. I want to focus on those things and hopefully have the chance to be able to make even a better Wisconsin than we have today.
And fair to say you haven't heard from or talked to former President Trump since last month?
I have not.
All right. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, a lot of news, a busy election, and a busy few weeks ahead. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate having me on.
Democrats nationally analyzing the results ahead of November. Jamie Harrison is chair of the Democratic National Committee. He joins us now from South Carolina. Jamie, welcome to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so coming off of Wisconsin's primary, how much is the DNC investing in Wisconsin ahead of the midterms, especially when you look at key races like the Senate race?
Well, Wisconsin remains one of the top battleground states in the nation. It has been over the last few election cycles, and it will be this election cycle as well. In Wisconsin, the DNC has already more than quadrupled our investment over the 2018 election cycle. And we are the largest national investor in the coordinated campaign for Democrats in that state. We are fully funding a number of staffers in the coordinated effort. Governor Evers, his reelection is so important. The Attorney General's reelection is so important. And of course, we are going to do everything that we can to support Mandela Barnes, who's my good friend, to make sure that he's the next senator from the great state of Wisconsin.
The RNC, as you know, recently picked Milwaukee to host the 2024 convention. You all are still in your process looking ahead to 2024. Was Milwaukee ever a consideration for you for 2024, looking back at how things shaped up for 2020?
Yeah, well, as you know, we selected Milwaukee for the 2020 host city. They did not reapply for this last round. And despite the fact that COVID prevented us from really rolling out the red carpet in the way that we wanted to. I mean, many folks say that the convention and the aspects that were in Milwaukee was one of the best conventions that we've had in a while.
Are we going to see the RNC in Milwaukee and the DNC in Chicago?
I don't know where the DNC is going to be at this point. Well, I've just completed several site visits. We have 4 cities left. We have Chicago, New York, Houston, and Atlanta. All 4 cities can really would be great hosts for the convention. And I'm excited to continue to go through the process, and we'll see where we end up.
Jamie Harrison, chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up, are Wisconsin Democrats energized? The midterms, the Inflation Reduction Act. Congresswoman Gwen Moore standing by next.